You have not failed at anything today. Nothing has gone wrong, and yet there is still a voice inside you that has already reached a verdict, and the verdict is that you are falling short. That verdict arrives before any evidence does, and the research on what it cost you points somewhere most of us never think to look. I'm Coach Janet J., and this is your next best step. Today, the ruling your own mind hands down to you before you've done a single thing wrong, and the one act of mercy that takes away its authority. Let me describe something I catch myself doing. I will finish a good day, a real one. Work went well. I was kind to someone who needed it. I got outside. I ate something that was actually food. And as I'm winding down, before my head hits the pillow, a voice pipes up with two words. And yet, you could have done more. And yet, you let that one thing slide. And yet, look how far you still have to go. No failure occurred. Nothing went wrong. The voice simply issued its own ruling anyway, the way it does most nights on a day that, by fair reading, was a good one. You may know that voice. It has a particular talent for arriving early. It arrives on your morning before the morning happens, on your season before the season starts, on your whole life before you have had a chance to live any more of it. Sometimes it wears the words, not enough. The costume changes. The verdict rarely does. Hebrews 4:16 says this, "Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." Sit with the order of that verse for a moment. Mercy comes first, before the help arrives, before the work is done, before you have improved a single thing about yourself. You are invited forward to receive mercy. And look at where you are invited to stand. A throne, a place where verdicts get handed down. Except this one is called a throne of grace. And you are told to approach it with confidence, right in the middle of your time of need. So there are two rulings available to you. One arrives uninvited, early and harsh. The other waits at a throne of grace and leads with mercy. Part of your work is deciding which one you walk toward first. There's research that speaks to the cost of that early verdict. A psychologist named Fuschia Sirois published a study in the journal Self and Identity, looking at the relationship between how harshly people treated themselves and how much stress they carry. Across 4 separate groups of people, she found a consistent pattern. The people who were hardest on themselves carried more stress about the things they had left undone. And self-kindness was linked with less of that stress. Her work points at something worth pausing on. Self-criticism is itself a source of pressure. It adds weight to the load you are already carrying while wearing the face of motivation. And the heavier the load gets, the harder it becomes to move at all. A couple of things to know about the study itself, because the details do matter. This was a snapshot in time, so it shows a pattern rather than a proven cause and effect. Most of the people in it were university students with one group of community adults, which makes it a solid starting point rather than the final word. Held loosely, the direction still holds steady. Self-kindness is associated with carrying less pressure, and things become possible again once the pressure comes down. Picture your own version for a moment. Think of the last time your inner voice handed down a ruling on you. Notice when it arrived. For most of us, it shows up early, before the day has produced any real evidence, before anyone has actually been let down. Notice its tone as well. For a lot of us, it sounds like a supervisor who has never once said, "Well done." Here is what the research suggests about that supervisor. She is adding weight to the load while presenting herself as the thing that keeps you moving. And you have been carrying that extra weight into every single day, believing it was helping. This lands across all 4 pillars, the way most real things do. Mentally, an early verdict narrows your thinking until options disappear. Emotionally, it carries a low shame that drains you before you can lift a finger. Physically, self-directed pressure settles into the body as a tight chest, shallow breathing, and a restless night. And spiritually, mercy is the doorway back in, because grace was always meant to come first, ahead of the work and ahead of the ruling. So here is your next best step. We'll call it the mercy margin. A margin of mercy you claim before anything else gets a vote on you. Tomorrow morning, before you open the planner, before you pick up the phone, before the voice files its report, pause for one slow breath and say this out loud or pray it. God's mercy is already here. Say it in the way you would receive something handed to you, because according to Hebrews, you are. Notice what this practice does. It leaves the voice entirely alone. Mercy simply speaks first, so the verdict arrives second, into a room where grace has already ruled. A second opinion carries a lot less authority than a first one. Then, once mercy has had the first word, name one doable thing you can do today that makes tomorrow lighter. Just one. Out loud. Mercy first, the one thing second. That order is the whole practice. Here's where this lands before we close. Sirois' research suggests that harsh self-treatment adds to the pressure you carry rather than relieving it. Hebrews 4:16 puts mercy first at a throne where you are welcome to arrive with confidence in your time of need. And the mercy margin lets you live that order out loud in the first minute of your morning. The voice that rules against you early has been loud for long enough. It has never once been the highest authority in the room, though. On Monday, we take the next piece of this. If you can feel the busy season coming and you are already bracing for it, the next episode offers one gentle way to meet September before it meets you. It pairs with today in a way I think you will feel. Follow or subscribe wherever you are listening or watching so the next one finds you without you having to search for it. I will see you Monday. Take your next best step.